They had the fame, fortune, and spotlight. But behind the scenes, these Hollywood legends harbored some surprising addictions. From shocking obsessions to hidden vices, you won't believe what some of your favorite stars are hiding. From timeless screen icons to golden age idols, these stories are sure to leave you stunned. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around until the end. You won't want to miss a single one of these stars on our list. Now let's get started. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood may be known for his tough guy roles and steely gaze, but behind the scenes, he had a deep and passionate love for jazz. Beyond being a casual fan, Eastwood collected rare jazz records, attended live performances, and even credited the genre for influencing his acting style. The rhythm and improvisation of jazz helped shape his approach to some of his most legendary roles. His 1971 directorial debut, Play Misty for Me, was a direct nod to his love for jazz, featuring Errol Garner's classic Misty. Eastwood also arranged a jazz concert at Carnegie Hall in 1996. This concert celebrated his favorite musicians, such as Dave Brubeck and Charlie Parker. Over the years, he composed film scores and even directed Bird, 1988, a biopic about Parker. Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly's flawless style wasn't just about designer gowns and pearls. Her signature hats were the crown jewels of her wardrobe. More than just accessories, hats were an essential part of her sophisticated image. She owned an extensive collection. She carefully selected each piece to complement her outfits perfectly. For Grace, a well-chosen hat wasn't just fashion. It was a statement of elegance and refinement. Her love for hats became almost an obsession. She had more in her collection than she could ever wear. Whether it was a chic pillbox, a wide-brimmed sun hat, or a delicate fascinator, she always had the perfect piece to complete her look. Even after she became Princess of Monaco, her passion for hats remained a defining part of her style. Today, her collection continues to inspire fashion lovers, proving that true elegance is all about the details. Errol Flynn. For Errol Flynn, the danger wasn't just part of the job, it was his lifestyle. Whether he was sailing headfirst into a storm, getting caught up in scandal, or barely escaping disaster, he treated life like a swashbuckling adventure. Off-screen, he lived as recklessly as the daring heroes he played. From his wild youth in Tasmania to run-ins with colonial law in New Guinea, Flynn's personal life was often marked by controversy and high-profile incidents. His Hollywood years were just as turbulent. There were booze-fueled escapades, high-profile affairs, and even criminal allegations that kept him in the headlines as much as his films. Even his autobiography, My Wicked, Wicked Ways, was so shocking it scandalized his own friends. Flynn himself admitted he was a danger to those around him. He didn't just act out perilous stunts, he was the stunt, and for better or worse, he never slowed down. Greta Garbo. Most stars craved the spotlight, but Greta Garbo craved silence. While Hollywood dazzled with fame and fortune, she longed for solitude. By 1949, Garbo had given the industry 16 years and 28 films. But when she screen-tested for La Duchesse de Langeais, fate intervened. The project fell apart, and she never faced a camera again. She was just 44 years old. For the next 40 years, Garbo lived on her terms, rejecting managers, studios, and public life. Though she maintained friendships, a quiet melancholy followed her. In a rare 1986 conversation, she admitted, "I was tired of Hollywood. I really wanted to live another life." Cary Grant. Cary Grant wasn't your typical Hollywood heartthrob. He was a man on a mission for self-discovery. At the peak of his career in the late 1950s, Grant turned to LSD therapy not for thrills, but for clarity. He was dissatisfied with hypnosis and yoga. So he believed the psychedelic experience unlocked hidden truths within himself. For nearly 100 sessions, Grant claimed the drug led to a rebirth. He said it helped him navigate the lifelong battle between his true self, Archie Leach, and the carefully crafted image of Cary Grant. Grant's experiences with LSD therapy coincided with the growing cultural interest in psychedelics, which figures like Timothy Leary later popularized. Anne Margaret. Long before it was trendy, Ann-Margret was tearing through the streets and Hollywood sets with the same high energy she brought to the screen. Her love affair with motorcycles began in childhood when her uncle took her on thrilling rides through Norway's breathtaking landscapes. That sense of freedom never left her. From the 1960s onward, she was often spotted riding her own bike, proving that motorcycles were more than a mere interest. They were a part of her identity. Even decades later, she's still a firm believer in holding on to the things that bring you joy, no matter your age. It's this fearless spirit that has made her such an enduring icon. Henry Fonda. While Hollywood was buzzing with excitement, Henry Fonda was often miles away, casting his line into the calm of nature's embrace. For Fonda, fishing wasn't about the catch, it was about finding solace by the water, rod in hand, away from the chaos of the limelight. Whether he was seeking tranquility in a quiet stream or just enjoying nature's calm, fishing became his personal retreat. The serenity and solitude were exactly what he needed to recharge. For him, it wasn't a hobby. It was a way to reconnect with himself and the outdoors. In a world full of noise, Fonda cherished the quiet moments, allowing him to clear his mind and find peace in the simple act of casting his line. Joan Fontaine. Joan Fontaine was Hollywood's original queen of gossip, and she loved every minute of it. Known for her sharp wit and knack for stirring the pot, Joan had a unique talent for making even the most mundane details sound downright scandalous. Whether it was during a glamorous party or a quiet conversation, she was always ready to spill the juiciest stories. Her passion for gossip wasn't just about sharing secrets, it was how she stayed connected in the high-stakes world of Hollywood. Joan became a fixture in social circles, always keeping things exciting with her quick tongue and captivating tales. In fact, her reputation for being as intriguing as the stories she told only added to her allure. This made her one of the most talked-about figures in Tinseltown. Frank Sinatra. After a long night on stage, Frank Sinatra knew exactly what would hit the spot: ice cream. While most folks might unwind with a drink, Old Blue Eyes reached for a scoop or two or three of his favorite comfort food. No matter how late, Sinatra's sweet tooth was always active. Ice cream wasn't just a treat, it was his ultimate indulgence and a comforting way to unwind after performing. Whether he was at a late-night diner or sneaking off to a favorite spot for a cone or sundae, it was clear that nothing could beat the creamy, sugary goodness of ice cream for Sinatra. Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn had a secret weapon for staying grounded: icy daily swims that helped her clear her mind and reset her spirit. For Kate, it wasn't about staying fit, but staying grounded. Whether it was the cold ocean or a chilled pool, she embraced the icy temperatures like it was second nature. Regardless of the weather, she'd plunge in, letting the freezing water wash away any stress or worries. Her daily swim became more than a routine. It was her form of therapy, a moment of clarity amidst Hollywood's hustle and bustle. The cold water provided Hepburn with peace, strength, and a much-needed reset, keeping her mentally sharp and emotionally balanced. James Dean. James Dean was an avid racing enthusiast who enjoyed the thrill of high-speed driving. He wasn't just a casual car enthusiast, he thrived on the adrenaline rush of racing and pushing his limits. The roar of the engine, the blur of the world as he sped by. It was in those moments that Dean felt most alive. His love for fast cars became legendary, but tragically, it also became his downfall. In 1955, while driving his beloved Porsche 550 Spyder, Dean's need for speed led to a fatal crash, cutting his life short. His passion for the thrill of the ride, however, remains a defining part of his legacy. Debbie Reynolds. Debbie Reynolds loved collecting Hollywood memorabilia. It was more than a pastime. It was a heartfelt mission to keep the magic of Tinseltown alive. With one of the largest collections of Hollywood memorabilia, Debbie went beyond simply collecting items. She cherished them as pieces of history. From vintage movie posters to iconic costumes and personal belongings of classic stars, her collection was a tribute to Hollywood's golden age. For Debbie, collecting memorabilia was more than a hobby. It was a way to keep the magic of Tinseltown alive. She treated every piece like a treasure, preserving the legacy of the legends who helped shape the film industry. Fred Astaire. Fred Astaire could find rhythm anywhere, even on the golf course. When he wasn't rehearsing or dazzling audiences, he was perfecting his swing. For Astaire, golf wasn't just a sport, it was a way to unwind, a peaceful retreat from the pressures of Hollywood. But in true Astaire fashion, he couldn't resist adding a little rhythm to the game. Whether it was a playful shuffle or a quick tap routine, he brought his signature style to every round. Golf wasn't just about competition, it was about movement, timing, and flow, the very things that made him a legend in entertainment. Judy Garland. Judy Garland's career was marked by the pressures of Hollywood, where she was reportedly given stimulants to maintain energy and sleeping pills to rest. It was a relentless cycle, one she never truly escaped. Her mother first introduced her to the regimen, but the pressure to stay thin and perform at her peak only grew stronger as she became one of Hollywood's biggest stars. MGM studio doctors continued to prescribe her pills, fueling an addiction that took a heavy toll on her health and well-being. The exhausting demands of fame left her physically and emotionally drained, leading to a lifelong struggle with substance abuse. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin's romantic life often made headlines, particularly due to his marriages to significantly younger women. His well-documented preference for younger women often made as many headlines as his movies. Chaplin didn't just date young, he married young, with 4 wives significantly his junior. His most infamous union was with Leda Gray, whom he wed when she was just 16, leading to one of the most scandalous divorces in Hollywood history. Despite the public's fascination and often outrage, Chaplin never shied away from his romantic choices. He embraced his image as a larger-than-life figure, both on and off the screen. Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn was the epitome of grace and elegance, but when it came to food, she had one true love: pasta. Despite her sophisticated image, she couldn't resist a hearty plate of spaghetti. It wasn't just a meal for her, it was a source of comfort, a reminder of life's simple pleasures. It seems she simply enjoyed a balanced approach to eating. She even often indulged in pasta, dark chocolate, and fresh vegetables from her garden. No matter what was on the menu, pasta remained her ultimate favorite. This is proof that even Hollywood's most glamorous star had a down-to-earth side. Gary Cooper. Long before Hollywood made him a star, Gary Cooper was chasing adventure. Not on set, but deep in the great outdoors. The legendary actor found his greatest joy in the wilderness, where hunting provided him with both adventure and tranquility. Whether he was tracking game or simply basking in the stillness of nature, Cooper saw the outdoors as his escape from the pressures of fame. Unlike many, he didn't view hunting as a sport for trophies. It was about something deeper. It reconnected him with a raw, untamed world. A place where he could trade scripts for solitude and the roar of applause for the whisper of the wind. Lana Turner. Few could match Lana Turner's passion for fashion, and her shopping sprees were the stuff of Hollywood legend. For Lana, shopping was more than a pastime. It was essential to preserving her signature Hollywood glamour. Whether she was hunting for the latest styles or indulging in luxury, every purchase added to her flawless image. But it wasn't just about looking good, it was about feeling in control. Shopping gave her a sense of comfort in a world where appearances meant everything. From designer gowns to everyday essentials, Lana's collection was as legendary as her film career. Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart didn't just enjoy chess, he lived and breathed it. The game was his constant companion, whether on set, at home, or between takes. If there was a board nearby, he was ready to play. Chess wasn't just a way to pass the time for Bogart, it was a mental exercise that kept him sharp and competitive. He even insisted on adding chess scenes to Casablanca, a testament to how much the game meant to him. Beyond Hollywood, he played against grandmasters and was deeply involved in chess organizations. His passion was so intense that co-stars, crew members, and even directors found themselves facing off against him. Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner had a weakness, and it wasn't diamonds or designer dresses, it was Coca-Cola. She kept her fridge stocked with ice-cold bottles, always within arm's reach. While others toasted with champagne, Ava preferred the crisp, refreshing fizz of her favorite soda. She even joked that Coke was her kind of bubbly, but truth be told, she adored it even more. It wasn't just a drink to her, it was a daily ritual. a little slice of comfort amid the glamour of Hollywood. For Ava, happiness wasn't found in a crystal flute. It came in a classic glass bottle, chilled to perfection. Clark Gable. Clark Gable had a habit that even the glitz and glamour of Hollywood couldn't shake, and it wasn't what you'd expect. Chewing gum was his go-to trick for calming nerves and keeping focused, whether he was on set or off. Whenever tension built up before a big scene, he'd pop in a stick and start chewing with determination. The funny part? He sometimes got so caught up in the moment that he'd forget to spit it out. Audiences saw a confident, charming leading man on screen, but behind the scenes, his trusty chewing gum helped him stay cool under pressure. Jayne Mansfield. Jayne Mansfield may have been Hollywood's queen of pink, but the truth was a little more black and white. While the world saw her wrapped in rosy hues, she actually preferred classic neutrals. Still, Mansfield knew the power of a strong image, and she leaned into pink like no one else. Her home was famously called the Pink Palace. It was a pastel dream with pink carpets, pink furniture, and even a heart-shaped bathtub in her signature shade. She took things even further by dyeing her beloved poodles to match, turning pink into more than a color. It became her brand. Whether or not she truly loved it didn't matter. James Cagney. James Cagney may have been Hollywood's ultimate tough guy, but off-screen, he was more likely to be tapping his feet than throwing punches. Cagney's true passion? Dancing. Between takes, he couldn't resist breaking into a tap routine, shuffling and stomping out rhythms without needing a note of music. To him, dancing wasn't just a skill, it was a part of who he was. Even in his autobiography, he proudly declared, "Once a song and dance man, always a song and dance man." Lauren Bacall. Lauren Bacall's iconic voice wasn't just a stroke of natural talent. It was shaped by a chain-smoking habit that became part of her sultry persona. That husky, throaty tone that captivated audiences on screen came from years of cigarettes. It added a signature rasp that became inseparable from her allure. Bacall, unapologetic about her smoking, fully embraced it as part of her mystique. On and off the screen, cigarettes were her constant companion. They fueled the deep, seductive sound that set her apart from other actresses. While it certainly contributed to her unforgettable presence, the habit also came at a price. Marlon Brando. Known for midnight burger runs and midnight snacks, Marlon Brando would indulge in hearty meals. These meals could be things like pancakes drenched in syrup and stacks of sausage and eggs. Brando's food choices weren't just about nourishment, they were comfort and joy. He was notorious for eating everything from hot dogs at 3 a.m. to entire Pepperidge Farm cookie packs. His unpredictable eating habits often caused wardrobe issues, as his weight fluctuated dramatically between roles. Even his on-set costume changes were influenced by his indulgent meals. Mae West. Mae West didn't just leave a room, she left a trail. Known for her magnetic personality and unforgettable charm, Mae used perfume as her secret weapon. She didn't simply dab it on, she practically bathed in it, ensuring her signature scent lingered long after her exit. For Mae, fragrance wasn't just about smelling good, it was about leaving an indelible impression on everyone she encountered. It was an extension of her persona, a touch of magic that sealed her allure. Mae West believed her perfume was a key ingredient in her spellbinding presence. It created lasting memories that captivated those around her. Orson Welles. When the spotlight became too intense, Orson Welles didn't turn to meditation. Nope, he reached for a drink. His relationship with alcohol was as dramatic as his career. Whether directing, acting, or dealing with the pressures of fame, a glass of wine or bourbon offered him the escape he needed. For Welles, alcohol wasn't just a habit. It was a tool for coping with the stress of his complex life. Unapologetic about his indulgence, he often embraced it as part of his larger-than-life persona. Despite the toll it may have taken, it fueled his creative spirit and helped him manage the wild ups and downs of the film industry. Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren's love affair with pizza is legendary, and it's not just about the taste. The iconic actress, known for her curves, openly credited pizza for helping her maintain her signature figure. While others counted calories, Sophia celebrated the joy of food. particularly pizza, as a symbol of embracing life's pleasures. In Loro di Napoli, 1954, she portrayed a pizza maker, showcasing a female-dominated tradition of frying thin cakes of dough to serve as street food. But her connection to pizza goes beyond film. Sofia often spoke about her love for the dish in interviews and even wrote cookbooks about it. For her, pizza wasn't just food, it was a way of living life to the fullest. Robert Mitchum. If there was ever a leading man who lived by his own rules, it was Robert Mitchum. A tough guy icon on screen, known for his roles in gritty noir films and westerns, Mitchum's off-screen persona was just as rebellious. Despite a long marriage to Dorothy, his romantic life was the subject of endless rumors and gossip. His rugged appeal and relaxed demeanor made him irresistible, but he wasn't one to care about public opinion. In fact, Mitchum's love life added an air of mystery to his already intriguing image. While many actors worked hard to keep their personal lives hidden, Mitchum's secretive relationships only fueled his reputation as a Hollywood maverick. Vivien Leigh. Vivien Leigh's life was filled with drama both on and off-screen, and her personal struggles were just as intense. Known for her iconic role as Scarlett O'Hara, she battled bipolar disorder. This actually may have influenced her intense, impulsive behavior, especially when it came to her love life. This disorder, marked by extreme mood swings, is believed to have played a part in her reported addiction to sex. Her passionate nature wasn't just confined to her acting. It spilled over into her relationships, causing both turmoil and fascination. Leigh's career soared, but her personal struggles with mental health and desire created a storm of public speculation. Dean Martin. Dean Martin effortlessly blended charm and charisma, all with a whiskey in hand. As a member of the famous Rat Pack, Martin made the drunk persona a trademark of his Las Vegas performances. Known for his sly humor and smooth crooning, he always had a drink nearby, but it was all part of the act. Offstage, Martin's son revealed that his father didn't indulge excessively, instead using the drink as a prop during his performances. Martin was known for his calm and loving nature when not in the spotlight. His love for whiskey may have been a signature, but his true talent shone through in every performance. Barbara Stanwyck. Whenever Barbara Stanwyck had a moment to spare, you could find her on horseback. She galloped across open fields or enjoyed a peaceful ride through the countryside. For Stanwyck, riding wasn't just a pastime, it was her sanctuary. In the whirlwind of Hollywood's chaotic world, horses gave her a rare sense of freedom and tranquility. Unlike the glitz of her film career, horseback riding was her escape, a chance to reconnect with nature and clear her mind. It wasn't about showing off, it was her way of finding peace and leaving the noise behind. Gene Kelly. When it came to perfection, Gene Kelly took it to the extreme. Obsessed with flawless execution, every step, every gesture, and every dance move had to be picture perfect. On set, he was known for micromanaging even the smallest details, ensuring everything met his exacting standards. For Kelly, this drive wasn't just a habit, it was the core of his artistry. His need for control wasn't about dominance, it was about crafting brilliance. Whether on screen or behind the scenes, he constantly pushed himself and others to achieve excellence. He never settled for anything less than perfection. Lucille Ball. If there's one thing that powered Lucille Ball's unstoppable energy was fueled by coffee, lots of it. From sunrise to the late hours of rehearsals, caffeine was her secret weapon. Lucille didn't just sip on coffee, she relied on gallons of it to keep her sharp, focused, and ready for her next hilarious move. It wasn't just a casual pick-me-up, it was a vital part of her daily routine, right alongside her impeccable comedic timing. Whether on set or off, Lucille knew how to use coffee to conquer the chaos of show business, ensuring that her legendary energy never faltered. Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson's sweet tooth was as iconic as his career. Whether it was chocolate bars, hard candies, or sugary desserts, Hudson always had a treat close by. For him, candy wasn't just a snack. It was a boost during the grueling hours of filming and a fun escape from the high-pressure world of Hollywood. His constant indulgence became a lovable quirk, one that friends and colleagues often teased him about. For Hudson, sugar wasn't just an indulgence. It served as a small reminder that life should have a little sweetness, even amid intense work. Natalie Wood. For Natalie Wood, shopping was a form of therapy. When the pressures of fame and life became too much, she found solace among the racks of high-end boutiques and designer stores. Fashion became a personal outlet for her creativity. It allowed her to express herself through vibrant, timeless styles. Whether she was hunting for the perfect outfit or indulging in a sale, her joy was evident, and her wardrobe reflected her personality. It wasn't just about the clothes. It was a way to regain control and bring a little sparkle into her hectic world. Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy's relationship with alcohol was as legendary as his acting career. Known for his fondness for drink, he often found solace in the bottle to cope with the intense pressures of Hollywood stardom. Tracy's battle with drinking sometimes led to personal struggles, like when he missed filming for Marie Galante due to a 2-week binge. Despite these challenges, he remained a respected figure in the industry. After all, he was still able to deliver unforgettable performances. His love for alcohol wasn't a secret. However, Tracy's ability to power through the toughest mornings and deliver on-screen excellence only added to the complexity of his iconic Hollywood persona. Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth had a deliciously sweet secret that kept her grounded amid the glamour of Hollywood. Between takes, the star would sneak bites of her favorite treat, chocolate. This rich indulgence wasn't just a quick snack. It was her way of finding comfort during the intense demands of stardom. It wasn't just about satisfying a craving. It was a moment of joy, a chance to savor life's sweeter pleasures. Friends and colleagues could always tell when she had a piece in hand, as her face would light up with a smile. Peter Lorre. Peter Lorre was famous for playing some of cinema's most unforgettable villains, but his real-life struggles were just as intense as the roles he portrayed. His talents ranged from playing sinister characters to comedic roles in his later years, including his last film, The Patsy, 1964. However, behind the scenes, Lorre battled a morphine addiction, reportedly stemming from chronic stomach pain following an appendectomy. This addiction led to multiple failed marriages and financial hardship, and contributed to his tragic death in a modest Hollywood apartment. Despite his struggles, Lorre's legacy as one of the most versatile actors of his time remains intact. Bette Davis. Bette Davis smoked like it was her job. Known for her bold presence both on and off screen, the iconic actress never parted with a cigarette. Whether on set, in interviews, or just hanging out, Bette was always puffing away. She was often surrounded by cups filled with her favorite brand, 100 Vantages. Her constant companion even caused directors to call her cut mid-scene due to the smoke swirling around. But for Bette, it wasn't just a habit, it was part of her signature style. That unmistakable, raspy voice, it was practically steeped in tobacco, giving her an edge that made her performances unforgettable. Gregory Peck. While other stars might unwind between scenes with a drink or idle chatter, Gregory Peck dove into novels. He would lose himself in the pages of another world. Reading wasn't just a way to pass the time for him. It was his way of staying centered amidst the chaos of fame. The stories he immersed himself in fed his intellect and provided a sense of peace when the cameras weren't rolling. On set or at home, Gregory's love for literature grounded him. It reminded him that there was more to life than the bright lights of Hollywood. Myrna Loy. Myrna Loy had an undeniable soft spot for dogs that became a key part of her life. She couldn't walk by a stray without feeling compelled to rescue it, leading to her home becoming a haven for furry friends of all kinds. Her nurturing spirit was evident in the way she managed her growing pack while balancing her busy Hollywood career. Her passion for rescuing dogs wasn't merely a leisure activity, it was a reflection of her boundless kindness and empathy. Her home often felt like an endless parade of adorable pups, but Myrna wouldn't have had it any other way. Paul Newman. Paul Newman was a fierce competitor on the racetrack. While most know him for his acting, racing became his true passion, a thrilling escape from the glitz of showbiz. At 46, he began his professional racing career. Newman, not content with fame alone, honed his skills. He eventually won prestigious events like the 24 Hours of Le Mans and Daytona at an age when most would slow down. In 1995, at 70, he shocked the racing world by winning his class in Daytona, and at 80, he was still competing. For Newman, racing wasn't just a hobby, it was a way of life, a challenge he couldn't resist. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe's dazzling fame came with a heavy price, and sleep eluded her amid the pressures of Hollywood life. With her mind constantly racing and personal heartaches weighing her down, sleeping pills became her temporary escape. Each night, rest felt like a battle, and the pills, while offering brief solace, also served as a crutch. They represented the darker side of her glamorous existence. For her, peace was as elusive as the stardom she embodied, and the toll of constant anxiety took its own heavy toll. Marilyn's use of sleeping pills highlighted the tragic disconnect between her public image and private pain. Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis's charm was legendary, but his love for women was almost as famous as his acting career. With his good looks and magnetic charisma, Curtis was rarely out of the spotlight. His romantic escapades were not just about fleeting love, they were a way for him to embrace life's excitement. Curtis viewed relationships as thrilling adventures, adding vibrancy to his world. Whether it was his time with Marilyn Monroe or his famous roles in Some Like It Hot and The Defiant Ones, Curtis cemented himself as one of Hollywood's most charismatic figures, leaving behind a lasting legacy of talent and irresistible charm. Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple's love for dolls was more than a childhood hobby. It became a cherished part of her adult life. Long after her fame faded, she kept a collection of dolls, each one carefully selected to symbolize a special memory or moment. To Shirley, they were a reminder of the innocence and joy that shaped her early years. Her face would light up when sharing the stories behind each doll, offering a glimpse into the simpler times of her youth. In the whirlwind of Hollywood, her doll collection was a sanctuary. It was a peaceful refuge that helped her hold on to the magic of childhood, even in adulthood. Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi's connection to his most famous role went far beyond the screen. The actor, forever linked to the character of Dracula, couldn't seem to part with his iconic black cape, wearing it everywhere he went. Whether attending parties, events, or even relaxing at home, Lugosi draped himself in the same cloak that made him a vampire legend. His love for the character ran so deep that, upon his passing, he requested to be buried in his beloved Dracula cape. The cape became not just a symbol of his most famous role, but a part of his identity. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford wasn't just tidy, she was a cleaning legend. Her obsession with scrubbing, polishing, and perfecting every corner of her home became iconic. For Joan, it wasn't just about keeping a neat house, it was a ritual. She spent hours ensuring that floors gleamed like mirrors and that everything was impeccably organized. This deep need for cleanliness wasn't just about the physical space, it provided her with control in a chaotic world. Her exacting standards, both at home and on set, became a defining part of her larger-than-life persona. Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby was obsessed with golf. The legendary crooner loved the game so much that he'd often skip Hollywood events just to hit the links. Whether he was perfecting his swing or soaking in the peaceful atmosphere of the course, he found a sense of tranquility on the fairway that Hollywood couldn't provide. It became his personal retreat from the chaos of fame, allowing him to unwind and clear his mind. Golf was more than a hobby for Crosby. It was a vital part of his life, offering solace and focus amid the pressures of being one of the biggest stars of his time. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor lived for diamonds. Her dazzling jewelry collection made headlines. It was an extension of her larger-than-life personality. Each gemstone in her collection wasn't just a decoration, it was a symbol of her elegance and individuality. For Elizabeth, diamonds, emeralds, and sapphires weren't just shiny objects. They were her way of expressing her glamour and sophistication. She once famously said, "Big girls need big diamonds," and she definitely lived by that mantra. Her passion for all things sparkling was practically a trademark. It cemented her place as a fashion icon whose love for luxurious jewels was as legendary as her acting career. And there you have it. From diamonds to drama, these Hollywood icons truly lived as larger-than-life legends. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories. See you next time for even more captivating tales from Tinseltown.